Oh, welcome. Well, I got my dog here. She's got a nose in my pocket. Come on up. Say hello. Hmm? My coffee, not yours. So, just wanted to say hello and welcome to everybody, and happy Valentine's Day for yesterday for all those people out there that love to celebrate Valentine's Day. I have a little bit of sad news. My wife left me, and I didn't get to celebrate Valentine's Day with anybody other than my little pupsy, who's very much just had a dinner and is now full of energy and she wants to play. Look at you. You're my girl. This is the only girl in my life today. My wife is, well, she hasn't left me. She's just gone to Romania to look at houses for us because we're fast approaching our time and our leave of Cyprus. I've been talking about this for a little while now that we're going to relocate, and for now, it's the easiest thing to do is to go back to Romania and get a house there and the type of land that we want, and kind of move on with our life and what we want to accomplish. The little girl's been Aura left on what day did she leave? Thursday, so we're 2 days into being bachelors here, me and my dog. She's been a bit sad and a bit missing her mum. She keeps going, and the spare bedroom is where what we use as our office type of thing. So like it's where the big computer's set up, and it's where I do the editing, and she does her editing and her other work online and stuff like that she does. So the door's closed in there because I don't go in there all that much, except for when I got to edit a video. So tomorrow I'll be spending a fair bit of time in there. But um, yeah, with the door being closed, she thinks that she's in there, so she goes and lays at the door and sort of cries. And yeah, she's missing her mum. Poor girl. No, I'm missing my wife too, very much. If she's watching, if she does watch, I miss you, Mama. We have funny nicknames for each other. Well, we only have one nickname, Mama. But yeah, so I wonder how everybody else's Valentine's Day went. I hope it was nice. I hope you, I don't know, roses. I don't know, cards. It's not really something that we've really celebrated too much. I only remember one Valentine's that we celebrated, and that was the first year that we met. We went to Brasov in Romania for Valentine's. For those of you who don't know Romania or anything like that, the Brasov is very close to Brian Castle, and that's its very picturesque town or city. I don't know what do you call it, but very, very picturesque, very, very beautiful. Had a wonderful time there. Somewhere where I'd like to go back and spend a little bit more time because I really want to go to Dracula's castle. But when we were there, my wife didn't want to. Nah. She's like, there's better castles in Romania than this one. This one's just the tourist one. I'm like, yeah, that's because that's the only one that we know. Everybody knows the Dracula story, and oh, when I say that to her, does she get mad because um, Dracula isn't a real person, but Vlad the Impaler, he is a real person, and in Romania, he's classed as a hero. Like they really, they really like Vlad. They think that he was a or I shouldn't say they think they believe that he's a like a national hero for what he did for his people. And more than I looked into it and sort of studied it, I can understand that. Like, yeah, he really was against foreign invasion and corruption, and what he did, although terrible, you don't get a nickname Vlad the Impaler for being nice, but he did it for his people and as a warning. So, and that was the times. Then it got hijacked by, I think it's Bram Stoker and Count Dracula, and made him into a vampire. And that's what we all know. And we all know that he stayed at Brian Castle. That was his castle. So then that became Dracula's castle. And we all, well, I'm assuming we all know about Dracula's castle. I'm yet to visit Dracula's castle. I want to. And this is one of the promises made when I came, when I agreed to go back to Romania, that I get to go and visit Dracula's castle. So she agreed to that. So, but that's where my wife is now. She's back there looking for a house. She went and had a look at one today. Didn't quite. What do you want? You can't stick your nose in my pot. All right. You can come up. Be careful of my coffee. Hey, hey. So yeah, it's just me and my girl. But what was I saying? Yeah, so she went and had a look at a house today. It didn't quite work out. It was a bit smaller than we thought it was going to be, or what she thought it was going to be. It's quite funny because we have different philosophies. Me coming from Australia, like I like wide open spaces, and look, you can't do this. I told you. She's got a nose in my pocket. Maybe good little girl. Yeah, we have different philosophies on houses, like European style homes, unless you're talking about the massive big villas, but generally they're a little bit smaller than what I'm used to back in Australia. So, oh, she's back. What do you want? You can't be chewing on me like that, okay? You're a distraction. Yeah, you're a distraction. Um, yeah, I kind of, my house back in Australia, I considered it small. It was a three-bedroom house, lounge room. I put an extension on out the back of it, made a massive big room out there just as a uh, just a room really. I was just going to turn it into like a TV room, put a couch in there, and all that type of stuff. I never actually got to live in it because I was doing the renovations for a few years, and then I hooked up with Aura, and I decided to move to Europe. So then I had to hurry up and finish the renovations before I left, which I did. Well, I was still getting finished when I left. I put my sister and dad in charge of it. I gave them the money and I said, right up, you finish it off. I got to go. This was all during COVID time. So there was uh, some restrictions. I had to apply to the Australian government to even leave the country. Such crazy times back then. It feels like it was a lifetime ago. Like, kind of already feels like it was that it's history. But it was only 5 years ago. But yeah, so I had to apply to the government. I had to send them a letter asking for permission to travel. And in one of those, in that submission, I actually said it's a one-way ticket. I'm not coming back, and I won't be back for the foreseeable future. I'm not coming back during COVID time. So they granted me the permission, which I thought was going to be a lot longer and a lot more difficult. I thought it'd be a bit more of a process, but about 2 weeks after I sent that letter in, they sent me back a letter saying that I could go. I still remember the night that I got it. It was actually, I think, a Friday night, because if I remember correctly, who's over there? My dog's over there. Tell you, scrounging around all the scraps from a food bowl. I used to do a weird roster, and I worked away from home, so but it was a weird roster. I would do like 4, 4, and 6. So one week I'd do 4 days. It'd be like 4-day works. The next week it'd be 4 night shifts, and then the third week would be a 6-day week where I do 3-day works, and then what we would have what we called a pajama day. So that was always on a Friday. So it would start Tuesday, work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was what we call pajama day. So we had we went to work Friday night. So you that's why we called it pajama day because you didn't go to work till night time, and then you do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And I got the email on the Thursday when I got home from work. I was back at camp or in camp in my room, what we call a donga, in my donga, and yeah, I got the email then. I was like, oh look at that, I got accepted. And so I called Aura and told her that, I can come. The government's letting me out. All good, lovely, lovely jubbly. And then I had to make a decision, like, because I had a lot of work to still do. I was working and trying to sort of, on my days off, I'd be mucking around with the house, like doing bits and bobs, bits and pieces here and there. And I told Aura, so well, I probably need another month. Like I'll have to resign from work. Like I have to tell them that I'm quitting, and then I'll have to really put a month of work into that house to be ready to be sold or rented out before I go. And she's like, I don't know about a month. Month seems a bit long. Not for me to come and to leave, but she's like, maybe they'll resend the letter. You just don't know. And especially back then during COVID time, you really didn't know one day from the next what the governments could do. Like they could just shut it all down and say no, nobody's going anywhere, nothing's ever going to happen. So yeah, there was. So I was like, okay, well, I need 2 weeks at least. And she's like, right, 2 weeks, and so I bought my one-way ticket, went to work that night, told my boss that this was the last weekend that I was going to be there. Like these are my last 3 shifts. I'm out. I'm quitting. I'm leaving the country. Bit lucky there because I was a contractor, so I didn't have to give any real notice. I could have actually just left on that Friday. I could have just rang them up and said, I'm done. I'm not coming to work tonight. I quit. But I'm not that type of person. I was like, I'm not going to leave you in the lurch that much. Like I will be, I will finish out this weekend, which I did. Then went home and spent 2 weeks renovating the house, which I had to find builders, and yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. So I was just about the only things that had to be done by the time I left was the carpet was going down. I ordered new carpet, ripped up everything, and stripped the house down, and it was ready to go. And yeah, so I never actually got to live in that house with the new room on it, which that new room was quite literally the size, like 3/4 of the size of the house again that I put on out the back. I had a half-acre block. I had a massive big shed. Really, really, in Australia, like it was a class as a small house, and that's where this original conversation was going. Like I don't know how many square meters it was, but it was probably 150 to 200 meters. And then when I moved to Europe and to Romania, and the apartment that Aura had, it was with the balcony, it was like 80 meters, and it was like 2 rooms and a bathroom, 1 bedroom, what we'd call in Australia like a 1 bedroom apartment, but it was 2 story. So downstairs was a kitchen and a lounge room, upstairs a bedroom and a bathroom. It was fine for us, but we didn't like live. I didn't like living in the city because I'm not a city bloke. Don't like the cities very much. I did when I was younger, but not now. And yeah, then even when we were in Portugal, when we lived in Portugal, the flats that we lived in there weren't massive. Europeans just don't really have big spaces. And so anyway, fast forward to now, our apartment here in Cyprus is 80 square meters again. It's a 2 bedroom apartment. It's quite spacious. And we've been looking for houses in Romania, so Aura went back on Thursday, as I was saying, to find us a place, and we thought we found one, and it was really nice. And we spoke to the guy on the phone. Well, Aura did, because I was talking Romanian, and he seemed like a really great bloke. And she told him that she would be there, arriving late Thursday night, and she'd come and see the house. And when she got there, the house was like smaller than this apartment. I didn't know that people would build a house that's smaller than this apartment. It was like, she said, it felt like it was about 70 square meters, even though it was advertised as 90. She was like, couldn't fit in the kitchen. Two of us couldn't fit in the kitchen. Like, in the hallways, maybe a bit bigger. She said, like, you'd be pretty well much walking down the hallways sideways because you wouldn't fit in very, like, you wouldn't be able to walk straight down the hall. She said, no, it's not us. So the search continues. I think she's got like another 3 or 4 days to before she comes back here, and she's got to find a house for us to live in. We do have some criteria. We do need a yard, because it's a girl here. We want her to have a bit of a yard. We also don't want to live in Bucharest or any of the really in the cities too much, because we live in what we call in Australia like a suburb. What are you doing? You can't be annoying me while I'm on the virus. Oh, you're back. See, here's my girl. Be nice. Be nice. And no, you can't drink my coffee. She loves smelling my coffee. So yeah, that's kind of like what's been happening for me this week. Not much. I've been pumping out really getting into this series on relationships. Somebody asked me um, quite a few videos back to do some videos on relationships and my thoughts and how I see relationships going. So I've started it off this week, doing an 11-part series on relationships. The first one was, your relationship with yourself, and this whole series for me is all about things that I've learned and that I've gone through and my thoughts on them. So I started it off with the personal relationship, and then the video that went up yesterday was a relationship with God. And well, it's not doing so well. I kind of left that one a little less edited than I normally would. I would normally cut out some of the longer pauses and make it a little bit more pacey. But I thought I'm going to leave this one how it is. I mucked around with the actual video itself too, and decided to make it a little bit different, because I've been experimenting with this style of my voice doing voiceover, and the videos have been of me just walking around, looking around at things, um, which is cool. I think it's cool anyway. And yeah, this one I actually took some clips from other places. There's a little bit of animation and stuff like that. Doesn't appear to be a hit. I don't think this whole I like it and I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to continue doing it throughout this series. And then when I get to Romania, I'll actually come back to doing this style video of me talking on camera live. Might do some walk and talks, get to know the city, get to or wherever it is that we end up living. But yeah, all these things that I talk to about are rather personal to me. Like I'm still ready to share with the whole world um, about my mother. I did drop it in this God video that why my grandfather thought that I was special and why he insisted on me going to church all the time. And that was because of I was lucky to be born. So I probably will eventually dive into that. I'm just not ready to share that story yet. So many details that I don't even know about it because it's never been something that I've spoken to my father about in depth. Like, yeah, he told me some stories about him and mum and that, but it's not something that we've spoken about a great deal. So I do have to do that before Dad shuffles off too, because my dad's now he was born in 1952, so that would make he'd be like 73 this year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, he's got more life behind him than he's got in front of him, probably. Even though he's healthy, and I don't see him going anywhere for a while yet. But once you get up to 70, over 70, you kind of you're kind of looking at the end. How far away that is, I don't know. It could be another 25, 30 years yet, but that would be cool. I hope he does live to 100. With the amount that he's gone through over his life and what he's accomplished and whatnot. So I'm very sounds like sometimes I'm harsh on my dad, but the older that I get, the more I appreciate him and understand him. We still have great conversations. We talk not as regular as we probably should, but we do talk and we do have good chats every. Well, I haven't spoken to him oh since the 25th of January. But he's on holidays now anyway, so it's not like that I should be annoying him while he's on holidays. When he gets back from his holiday, I'll have a chat to him, and then he goes again on another holiday after that anyway. So I think he'll be coming back home. If he's not already home, he'll be home very shortly. So I'll give him a call next week. So what's coming up? Like I said, so for YouTube, the series is on relationships and all types of relationships that you may or may not even think of. Most of the time, you think of like you know family and maybe your relationship at work. But as I said, we started off with the relationship you have with yourself, and then we have the relationship with God. The next one that will be coming up on Monday is dating, and then marriage, and then family. So that's kind of what the what's coming up this week. been a great week actually. I've had a fun time doing this series so far, so really, really proud of it. What I'm not happy about is so many vultures out there. I keep like there's this one guy from Bangladesh. He sends me an email every day, an SEO expert. And I'm trying to work this shit out on my own. Just work it out as I go. He's like, "You make good." I don't think he watches my videos, by the way. I think that I think it's just a standard tagline because it's pretty easy to see. He's like, "You've done 78 videos," which isn't true. I haven't done 78 videos because 45 of those were shorts where they were just sort of clips, and I haven't even done a short since early December. But that's how they go. You know, you've done 78 and you've only got 583 subscribers. You should have way much more. Your content's great. It should be seen by more. It will be. And by the time I'm ready for it, and by the time that I'm really good, the people will be seeing it. I've only been doing it for a few months, but I'm really, really happy with how things are progressing. I don't, yeah, I'm really happy with it. I really think that I'm very lucky to even have that amount. I went, I'm still waiting and anticipating that one of my videos is going to go viral because I would love to see a video of mine that actually got like thousands of watch hours. I think one of the things that I am fighting most about with my thought pattern, because by now you should be realizing, or you should know me enough now to how I try and stay positive, how I am a believer in not letting negative thoughts come to you. Or that's not right. I should say negative thoughts are going to come. It's about how long you stay with them. And I'm working on that. I'm working on not chaining them together, not to let it spiral down. Oh, I'm allowing myself to have them, but I'm also very conscious and very aware to cut them off very quickly. And I do see the average watch time on my videos, and they sit around about a quarter. And I do notice um, that I lose about 50% within the first minute. So I'm consciously trying to make my openings a little bit more dynamic because I want people to actually get into the story because I'm a builder into stories. Like I don't think that this is a story that I need to change about myself because I don't think that I'm a strong out of the blocks type of guy, and I don't think that I finish off very well either. I think that I struggle with the beginning and the ending. It's a thought that I am working hard on to change because I know once I can change that, once I start telling that story of I'm a great storyteller, I'm great at building that intent. That oh, what's the word? Sorry, pardon me. Um, I'm great at building, but at the moment, I don't feel like that I'm great at coming out of the blocks. I think that it's too much of a slow burn, or it's just not engaging enough straight away to grab people's attention to get to where actually the good stuff is. And to me, I think that I'm very good in the middle. Would you stop crying? I'm busy. She's quite demanding, my dog. Very demanding. I let her out after she had a dinner because that's her normal routine is to get out after dinner. But tonight she's not being a nice dog. Oh yeah. Well, you are a nice dog. You're always a nice girl. You're always a beautiful girl. Very demanding though. Yeah, you are very demanding. Hmm? Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Who's my girl? Hmm. Well, that wasn't very nice. No, you're not a very nice dog at all. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. This week, these are the things that I'm working on. Like I said, I'm having a great time with this series. I really am enjoying it. I'd love it once I finish this series. I'd love to hear what other people's ideas are on what they would like me to talk about. I do have an upcoming video after this series. Will be a review of my 101-day challenge, which has now ended. So I need to. I'm going to have to change some descriptions around on my profile a little bit because I'm no longer doing the 101 days. I've completed it. It's been an eye opener. I've got more out of it than I actually thought that I would. Uh, I spoke about it at the halfway mark. I did a video what I've learned so far, and what I've learned even more is I've actually found my path. I know what I want to talk about. I know what interests me. It could also change going further because I think that's evolution. Like that's what we're all about. Like, you talk about the things that you're into. I don't see myself moving from this path at all, though, because it's so goddamn interesting to me, and I love talking about it, and I love going back and putting them to learnable moments, like things that I've actually now understand of why I did something or why I was the way I was, what I was thinking, those type of things. And it's a great memory exercise. One of the good things is that I'm no longer attached to any of those stories. Like they're just stories now. They're not me. I don't go back and relive them. I'm not going back and putting myself down for all the stupid shit that I've done in my life. Because there has been plenty of times where I've done some stupid shit. But I do like telling those stories and the lessons that I've learned now that I understand things a lot differently to how I used to understand them. Uh, there is another series that I will be, yeah. So I'll tie that up actually. So yeah, that's one of the things that I really appreciate about this 101-day journey. Started off with not really knowing what I wanted to do, what I was going to talk about. All I wanted to do was build some confidence to be able to speak on camera. I think that I've done that pretty well now. Excuse me. I think that I'm doing really well along those lines. The other thing was to grow. I think that my numbers are okay, like nearly at 600 followers. That's pretty good, pretty damn impressive if you ask me. Uh, would it be nice to be 1,000? Yeah, but am I ecstatic that I'm at what I'm at? Absolutely. It's beyond belief that so many people are into my videos, and I'm so grateful for the people that actually leave comments on my videos. Even some people that don't agree with me, and that's great. I like having those people that don't agree with me. You get you learn so much more from people who don't agree with you than you do with people that agree with you. Uh, so yeah, they're the two big takeaways so far. I found my path. I found what I enjoy doing. I really do enjoy making these videos. So that's great. And what was I going to say? The next. Oh, influences. I'm going to do a little series coming up. It'll be, I don't know when, probably in March. I'll do another series, and it'll be on people that have influenced me, mixed in with book reviews. I haven't quite worked it out yet. There'll be something along those lines though, like, or maybe not influenced me, but inspired me along my journey, like what I've taken from people. Bob Proctor was one of the original ones. God rest his soul. He passed on, but Bob Proctor was one that I really enjoyed learning from. Robin Sharma, he's been another one that I've spent a fair bit of time with. And I'll probably talk about do like some YouTubers. Hello. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name. I'm so sorry because I'm going to butcher that. It's kind of like Matthew, but I don't think it is. Thank you for dropping in and saying hi. How's how's your weekend? No problem. I'm glad that it's not now a problem. That would be awkward. Too bad you can't talk back to me. Maybe one day I'll have to organise somebody to actually have a chat with. Maybe one day I can organise it with Miles. Miles is somebody that I have a lot of time for, so maybe I can have a chat with Miles. We can do a live together or something like that. He's got more subscribers than me, and but anyways, thank you for dropping by and saying hello. How's your weekend? How was Valentine's Day? Did you celebrate it in any way, shape, form? I already said earlier that my wife left me, so I didn't get to celebrate no Valentine's Day here. Just me and my dog, and no, nothing special. Do you think Valentine's still has its place, or is it too commercialized now? I remember when I was younger, wasn't really, yeah, too commercial. It wasn't really a thing. Like I think back in primary school, maybe you'd do a Valentine's Day card with someone that you were sweet on in 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 first grade type of thing. Will you be my Valentine's? Yes, no. Yeah. Then after that, there was nothing there to it. I really haven't celebrated. I just spoke about the last time that we did something together on Valentine's, which was we went to brush off and had a spent a few days there. It was beautiful. Just I think it more um just happened to fall. Like we didn't really plan to do it for Valentine's Day. I think it was just like, yeah, we'll go now, and that's when it was on. Like I said, it was funny yesterday when I was talking to my wife when when she got up. I'd had to go to the vets to pick up the cage, the travel cage for Taya, and on the radio they were talking about Valentine's Day being today, and I was like, "Is today the 14th?" So then when I was speaking to my wife, I was like, "Happy Valentine's Day, my love." And then I had to tell the story. I said I didn't really remember it. It was just that I heard it on the radio when I went to pick up Taya's cage. But yeah, the same Valentine. Yeah, not much of a not much of a romantic gesture there for me either, and that hasn't been for years. Here we are. That was yesterday. Today's today. Having a good weekend. You didn't do a great deal today. I recorded a video, took my dog for a couple of laps and a couple of different runs around the field. Pretty damn quiet, actually. I like it. I like it when I have nice, relaxing days like that. Not much happening. Yeah. What do you do for work? I kind of wonder what it would be like if I had to go back to work. I had a taste of it, not last year, the year before, 2023, I think. To, and I worked in a hotel as a barman for 6 weeks. I actually had to. So weird here. It was like 6 days a week. That's what they work here. Like it's mad. 6 days a week. Six day work week. And you have to do like 9 hours minimum a day. Hmm, fuck that. I lasted about 6 weeks. Oh, you're doing wonderful. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be your native language. But yeah, that was the last time that I worked. I lasted 6 weeks. Pouring beers. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I kind of only wanted a part-time job, like go in and spend a few hours a day just to fill in some time. And it was more about getting my stay permit. So I got told that it would be easier if I had a job. So I was like, all right, I'll go and get a job. So I was doing all those hours. I was like 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I got paid 900 euros a month. I was like, fuck this. Worked like a slave for minimum wage. It was below minimum wage actually. Like worked it out. It was like for €3 an hour. I'm like, fuck the hell. That's ridiculous. I'm not doing this. I'm not spending all day working like that just to get nothing. It was a bit funny, like at the time, our trading was going gangbusters and was making like thousands of dollars a day doing that. And then just to make my application look a little bit stronger, go and get a job for like 900 euros a month. Fuck, I make that a day. It's madness. Then I couldn't make that a day because I was spending all day fucking pouring beers at a pub, bar, club, hotel. Then they wanted me to do the night shift. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to teach you how to be like to check people in after hours." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta because we stay open until midnight or 1 o'clock, and you can't leave until the last person has checked in." And I'm like, got the wrong bloke here. I'm not doing that. I'm happy I'll come here and work some hours, but yeah, when they started getting a bit too demanding, I didn't even quit. It's a funny story because um, the owner come to me and he's like, "I need your paperwork now that you've got your residency." And I said, "I think we need to have a chat about this." And I said, I'm like going to tell him like, "I appreciate the job. I'll stick around until the end of the season because or the end of the year. That was my goal. This was in July, and it's middle of summer. So I was like, I was going to say to him, I'll stick around to the end of the year, but I also don't want to be working 6 days a week. I don't care if you pay me. I'll actually work for free. You don't have to pay me because I got what I wanted, but I do feel like I owe you something. Oh, you saw red, you like kicked me out. Didn't even pay me. Didn't even didn't even get my last paycheck. Like he owed me like 600 euros or 900 euros. I didn't quite finish out the month, but it was like 7 weeks. So he paid me for the first month and then didn't pay me for the next 3 weeks. And I was like, I don't care. Like at the end of the day, what I was going to tell you, but you didn't want to have a conversation like a human being. I said I wanted to talk to you, and then you just flew off the handle and told me that I used him for my yellow, what they call a yellow slip. And yeah, I said, well, you kind of using me for cheap labour. Goes both ways, but his whole thing was about control. Like he had everybody that worked there, everybody, but one person. Everybody else that worked there really needed a job, and when he found out that I didn't actually need a job, that I had, um, yeah, I wasn't relying on a paycheck to be able to afford to live. That shocked him quite enough. He was very taken aback that because that's kind of their gimmick here. They think that most people need them for a paycheck, like, and then they can sort of hold all the power. Like they can make you work all these hours and do all these things because you need the money to survive. When he found out that I didn't need the money to survive, that I wasn't relying on him for his paycheck, yeah, he didn't like me at all after that. I ran into him not that long ago down at the supermarket, and he couldn't avoid me because we actually like trolleys nearly hit like that. So he was standing right in front of me, and I just looked at him and smiled, and I won't say his name, but I asked him how he was doing, and he didn't know what to do. he just he sort of quickly said good and moved on. I still see his son every now and again. His son was always real friendly to me, always helping me, like not helping me out, but because I hadn't been a bartender for like since I was 20, and I was 40. Well, what am I now? 45. So I was like 43. I hadn't been a bartender for like nearly 25 years. Yeah, man, I did. I'll go through my history. So I started working when I was 13, and that came about because I got suspended from school, and I got suspended from school on a Friday, and I didn't tell my parents about it because I was a bit scared. What they're going to do? How are you going to tell them that you've suspended from school for a week because of bad behaviour? And my parents weren't really big into that. So I didn't give them the suspension letter until Sunday night. It was like when I was going to bed at like 10:30. I'm like, oh, by the way, and then they weren't that happy about that. And so they said, well, you'll have to go to work with your mother. Because there's nothing else for me to do. I was like 13 at the time. And so I went to work with mum, and her boss said, pretty well much, what are you doing here? And I said, suspended from school. So I just got to hang out here. And he's like, oh, if you're going to be here, you're going to work. So he stuck me in the ice machine, had an ice room with an ice maker. He's like, you bag ice. Okay. So I worked there for that week, bagging ice. And once the ice room was full, he sent me out. I had to weed the uh, driveway, wash the driveway down, wash all the signs down,